We have so much fun. You would not believe that there's so much things here in Ghana for kids to do. I had to, initially I had to find things because I was the only one with kids there. But just driving around and meeting people and finding places to go, we have created a community that has other kids their age. They have play dates together. They do soccer. We've traveled together. We've been to several different locations around the country.
Hello, everyone. I am Paula Okone, host of Chatting with the Experts TV show, where I showcase the exceptional lives, professional lives of women from Africa and the Caribbean who now live abroad meaning Europe, North America, the UK, or Australia. I also speak to women who did not leave Africa and the Caribbean and still live there. And what we do is we strive to teach, empower, and inspire women from all over the world from their stories, that's the stories of these women, and their lives. Today is no exception. I have an exceptional, fantastic woman who will be talking about her journey in the world. But in particular, we're going to talk about her book, which is called Single Mom's Guide, Moving to Ghana. So let me tell you about this fantastic woman. Her name is Karlene Thompson, and she's a native of Jamaica. And she spent over 2 decades in the United States, but her thirst for new adventure and her desire to provide her children with a truly unique upbringing led her on an extraordinary journey. And she shares her experience with herself and her 2 sons as they embark on an extraordinarily fantastic adventure. And with that, I welcome my guest, Karlene Thompson, to Chatting with the Experts.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for coming on to Chatting with the Experts, where you can share with my listeners and my viewers your experience on moving to Ghana as a single mom.
Thank you for having me. This is a very exciting time for me. This is all new experiences for me, so I'm hoping that I can share some insights that I have with your audience.
Absolutely. So what I know the first question some people may ask, and I'm asking myself, why Ghana?
Why Ghana? I got that question a lot when I was deciding to make this move. And why Ghana? Why anywhere in Africa for that matter? The thing is, Africa, the whole continent has been painted with a paint that it is poor, it's backwards. People live in huts and they don't eat, or there's wild animals and all these bad, negative pictures that is painted on Africa. And people are accepting this for truth and not wanting to see for themselves. And I had the experience of having been there myself and experienced the wonders, the beauty, and all of the resources that are available in different places, and especially Ghana. And I wanted to show people that they need to make that move for themselves and decide for themselves if they want to make that move or not. And so I wanted to make sure that I set up the steps or the things that they needed to do to get there as quickly as possible without the hurdles that I had to go through, and made it as easy as possible for anyone who wanted to do that for themselves, so that they can experience all of these things that I experienced and decide for themselves without having to hear from somebody else.
I love that. All right. So that's a good explanation on why Ghana, why Africa, and then why Ghana in particular. All right. So, okay. So let's say I'm a single mom, which I'm not, and I'm planning on moving to Ghana. What are some of the things I need to consider?
Well, some of the things that I had to consider was education for my children. Mm-hmm. I thought about whether I would want to send them to the schools that are there. I looked at the different schools, the different systems that are there. They're based on a British system, and I didn't want to go down that road. I grew up in a British system in Jamaica myself, but it was also comparing the standards of the African system to America, and I didn't find that they compared very well. So I decided to do my search in a homeschool setting and try to make it as easy as possible. I tried to make it online. Initially, all of our schooling was not online, so I had to pack up boxes and boxes of books and take it with me when I traveled. But eventually, the school that I joined with moved to an online program, and that made it so much easier. We can take it anywhere we want. We're traveling to. We can move ahead. We can stop. It's so much simpler. We can go anywhere we want to, whenever we want to. So that's what we decided to do. So that was one thing that I had to consider, education. And then the other thing was the cultural differences. Africa was something that was new to my children. They had never been to Africa, but they took to it so quickly, so easily. It was nothing for them. So they played with the local kids. They learned some of the local languages. They got into all of the activities. It was exciting for them. So those are some of the things that I considered. As far as being a single mom, doing it alone it was a little bit difficult, but thankfully I had family that were there to support me. My mom was my main support, but there were friends there as well. And we met different people along the way. So that helped a lot. So we had a lot of support along the way. So that helped.
So there's a question I'm going to ask you. So your kids, from my understanding, you lived in the US for some time.
Yes.
And so your kids probably were born there.
Yes.
Born in the US.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So now, from what I read your book, by the way. Oh, excited.
Oh, thank
really
you.
excited.
Nice.
Yeah, I read the whole book. And so I wanted you to explain to my viewers that, okay, you're a single mom, and then you were divorced. Your marriage unfortunately broke down, and now you wanted to travel with your children. So now you're going to Ghana. You've decided that you're going to go to Ghana. So what happens? You're not with your husband. You got to take these children. Are there some things as a single mom in particular that you have to put into consideration? Can you just take these two children and leave?
No. I didn't. That would be kind of crazy. I had to make sure that the custody agreement that I had in place allowed me to be the primary custodian and have final decisions on any major decisions. So I had tiebreaker tiebreaker clause placed into the custody agreement, so that if we came upon any kind of disagreements and we couldn't come to a decision, then I, as the main parent taking care of the children, or my children, could make the decision in their best interests. And that's what I did. So that's one of the main things as far as having custody of your children. And then the other thing is the fathers were not interested, or not involved. They were not that included in the parenting process. So that made it a lot better. But if somebody has a spouse or ex-spouse who wants to, maintain that connection, that hold, it can be a little bit more difficult, and that's something they may have to maneuver and try to come to some kind of decision between the both of them. I'm sure if both parents are agreeable, they can work out something where they share a visitation, meet somewhere in the middle, and work out that kind of agreement between each other. But mine was a little bit easier in that they didn't want to be involved at all. So
okay, all right. So you didn't want to be involved. So you didn't have much of a custody. I mean, there wasn't as much paperwork probably involved in, like, now you're taking these children out of the country, and
right.
Okay, all right. So okay, so we talked about, this is really about a single mom. So what else, would a single mom need to know? Because there's a difference between just taking your children out, not just taking, but taking your children out, as a couple, and, both decided upon this. But the fact that you named your book Single, there's a reason for that.
Yes. I said single because, I'm not married, for one, and not that I'm looking for a relationship, but being an only parent, trying to do what two people would have a difficult time doing, there were struggles along the way. So yes, I hit a lot of roadblocks. And you know, in one thing is that you're a woman. If it was a single man, it might not have been a bad thing, because in a patriarchal society as Ghana is, women are they're treated differently. If I took my car to the garage in America, is similar to how they treat the women here. So there's a little bit of cultural differences where that is concerned. So it kind of, you have to be aware that being a woman, you kind of have to be a little bit more strong. You have to be more forthright in what you want. You have to stand up for yourself. You don't have that man to support you. You don't have that man to speak for you or to represent you. So that's the part that I wanted to make clear. It's not just being single. I'm not just being single, but being a woman as well. It's a lot different than just having a partner to do it with. You could, say, okay, your husband can go take care of these things, or your partner can take care of these situations. I had to do it all by myself, or all for my children as well. So there's that. It's not just me being single. Yeah.
No, okay, thanks for that. But I also know, because I have connection with Nigeria and even with Ghana.
Yes.
But, being a woman and being a single woman takes on a different dimension.
Yes, absolutely. And yes, as in Nigeria, there was a time when I wanted to take them on a trip to Nigeria, and I couldn't, because I needed to have a man to give permission to write a letter to say you can take your children. I am the only one that is involved or is responsible for my children. Why do I need to have a letter from the man? So we never actually, and I never took the kids to Nigeria because I didn't want to have to deal with the hassle of that. So, you hit up certain barriers that you have to decide which battles to fight. And I just didn't fight that one.
Okay, all right, I got you. All right, so we talked about, custody, because you were bringing the children from the United States. Did you all need a visa? Is that something that a mom needs to put into consideration?
Yes, absolutely. In Ghana, you do need a visa to come here, and it's basically the same process as if you're going to any other country. It's not any longer. Well, now with COVID, I don't know. I did this before COVID, so it's a little bit smoother. I don't know what the process. It probably is going to take a little longer because of backlog and all that other stuff. But I took them to the office that day. We got the visa that day, and we could fly out up to 6 months after we got the visa. It's not a problem.
Okay. And how long could you? I mean, your visas are for 90 days.
90 days.
90
and
days.
Once you're in the country, you can get an extension. You can get another 30 days extension. I think you get up to 3 extensions. But what we did was we would go over to Benin, or we'd go to Togo and come back. And so that kind of broke up the extension process and made it a little bit more seamless.
You are indeed a global traveler.
You can learn.
So you'd go over to Benin and to Togo, but they speak French there, don't they?
Yes, they do. So we learned a little French.
Oh, I love that. I love that. All right. So now we've got the visa, you've got the custody of your boys, and you fly, to Ghana. Or did you go, check it out first? Did you go do, scope it out, like, okay, have a house that you're gonna rent, figure out, I know you said that you're gonna homeschool them. What about transportation? Did you get a car? What were your next steps once you got to Ghana? What happened next?
So previous to me being married, having kids and all that, I traveled before. So I traveled to Ghana and as a single person. So I went there, loved it. And my mother also loved it. So she decided to retire there, and she started building her house and getting it all set up. She had foresight that I couldn't even imagine. She said she wanted to have her house ready, that when I had kids, they could come. No kids in sight. She's building a house.
I love it.
She built this house. It took almost 9 years. So over that span of time, got married, got divorced, had kids. Life happened. And when I decided to move, was already in place. My mom's house was already almost finished by that time. Wasn't quite finished yet. So for 2 years before that, we moved to Liberia. And we lived in Liberia for 2 years while my dad was there working. A whole nother story.
Yes. Wow. Okay.
Yes, and that was the start of their experience in Ghana, in Africa. And they smoothly transitioned to life here with no problem. So when we finally moved to Ghana, the house was set up. My mom had set up, transportation and everything. So everything was already in place for us. And we already knew that already ahead of time. So the time in Liberia was basically a transition to get us used to the concept, the kids acclimatized, and to have time to finish the house and get everything else set up for us when we moved.
Okay. So when talking about setting up the house, so your mom built the house, you had no part in that.
Well, I came, I saw, and basically she did everything from dirt to roof. Everything, design, construction. She was there from start to finish. She's awesome. One day you should interview her.
Oh, she is a remarkable woman. That's why I'm talking to her daughter. You're remarkable as well.
Thank you.
Well, so I know, as I said, I have to give a disclaimer here. I lived in Nigeria for years. So building a house, I know it's no easy feat in Nigeria, and I guess it's probably similar to that in Ghana. So, I mean, for someone who had probably never lived abroad or lived in Africa, how easy is it to get a house? Is it like in the United States, at least? That's why I can talk about where, you get a realtor and then you decide you have, online, you'll be looking at specs of the home. Anything like that?
Not even close. There are realtors here, but not for buying land. If you're buying land, you have to do the work yourself. Everything that is involved in the housing process, you have to do it yourself. You go look for the land, unless you know somebody who has a land and they can take you to where it is. If you go, like my mom basically said, okay, I'm gonna buy land. Show me what you have. She went, she looked, she didn't like, she went somewhere else, looked, and she decided on the land. Then she had to go through the whole meeting the chiefs, meeting the families, presenting offerings, and going back and forth with bartering back and forth. So it's not like you have a contract and you finish in 30 days. It's a time consuming process. Once she had the lands, then she had to go and get, go through the government paperwork and all of that. So that's a whole nother process. Then the building of the house was the main part of it that took the longest, because everything there is done with cash. So you don't build until you have the money. And when the money is done, you stop. And the best thing to do is to be there when the house is being built, because if you're not there, you don't know what you're getting. You don't know what they're charging you. You want to be right there on the ground when the house is being built. And so when the house was almost done, maybe 3/4 of the way done, I came to the house and saw it. My son was with me at the time. We walked through the different rooms and saw how she had come, how far she had come, doing everything. And so we proceeded. So it's not a 30-day, 40-day kind of thing, quick. 9 years time before my mom's house was done.
Obviously.
And still being done.
And still be okay. But obviously you loved what you saw and you felt so comfortable that you were like, but I'm still moving here.
Absolutely. Yes.
So we talk about the housing. What about driving and so on? Did you have to get a driver's license, or people there have drivers?
Yes.
How does that work? Because I'm talking to you as though I've never lived there, I haven't, but having lived in Nigeria, I think there's some similarities. So talking to someone who wants to go to live in Ghana and they're a single mom, can they come with their American driver's license if, for example, they're coming from the US? Can they use an American driver's license?
So yes, you can use your US driver's license for, I think it's up to 6 months. After that time, you're at risk of being pulled. If you get pulled over, you're going to get charged fees and penalties and all these other things. So you want to set up yourself beforehand. You have 6 months, so you should be able to have enough time to get a Ghana driver's license, which is not that difficult. You go to the driving DVLA, they call it, and you get a license. You don't have to do a test because they're assuming that you know how to drive since you have a US driver's license, right? So you get that. And as far as driving yourself, you can drive yourself the whole time you're there. And when you get driver's license, continue to do so. On the other hand, if you want to not drive at all, you can get a driver. It's not that expensive. You can negotiate to get a driver to drive for you. You can have one that is on staff for as long as you want them to, or as needed. So you can negotiate back and forth and have that set up as you go along. Or you can get Uber. If you're in the city, it's easy to get an Uber to go anywhere you want to go. That's like the quickest and fastest thing to do. Run to the grocery store, call the Uber.
Okay. So in terms of technology, they are on par with us here in the United States. I mean, you can use your mobile phone. For calling Uber. Something just came to my mind too. In terms of money, I think you guys are in Ghana, they're quite advanced in that, you can send money to each other over the phone, correct?
Yes. It's awesome. It's wonderful. You don't have to carry cash at all. It's on your phone. You pay at the grocery store, at the gas station, the small boy, anybody that has a phone, you can, send them money, any amount you want, as long as you have cash on your mobile money. But you have to get that set up on your phone. You have to, have that process taken care of ahead of time as well. So that is also in the book.
Okay. Right, because I think I kind of jumped ahead of myself thinking, yeah, I know a lot of things are done on your phone in Ghana. And so credit cards are not something that I'd have to, if I were coming there as a single mom, I'd have to put into consideration.
You can carry them. You can use them like regular cards, as long as you inform your banks that you're traveling. I use my credit cards. I use my ATM cards. I get local money out of the ATM. And your credit cards come out as Ghana money and shows up in your bank account as US dollars. So either way, you can use your credit cards or you can do mobile money. So you have that option. It's very flexible.
Yeah. So what else can you, I think it's like we've covered everything. We've talked about visas, custody, housing, money, getting a car, moving around, transportation, the fact that, setting up an account, a bank account, and even an account so that you can move money on your phones, for things. Is there anything else that one would need if you're moving to Ghana in particular?
Yes. The fun part.
Yeah.
The fun part. We have so much fun. You would not believe that there's so much things here in Ghana for kids to do. I had to, initially I had to find things because I felt like we were the only kid, or I was the only one with kids there. But just driving around and meeting people and finding places to go, we have created a community that has other kids their age. They have play dates together. They do soccer. We've traveled together. We've been to several different locations around the country. There is kids play place, they like play zone, where you can have bowling, you have trampoline, there's a restaurant, there's zip lining in this one place. It was amazing. There's also an amusement park. This just opened recently. There's an amusement park. It's not Disney World, mind you, but it comes close. There's rides and trains, stuffed animals. There's a zoo there. And there's several things for them to do. And then, you can go to places like resorts. We have been and stayed at Aqua Safari, Coconut Grove, Labadi Beach, and they have wonderful pools and beaches there. So we see a lot of things. I share times with other families when they have birthday parties. We go to different places with them. We've been to a Fajato. I have some pictures on my Facebook page with my son. He did that, a rites of passage. He climbed a Fajato to the top, and it was an achievement for him because he felt like he was, you know, he did something because he climbed to the top of this mountain. It was a beautiful picture to see. So, you know, there's different things for us to do, always discovering new things and finding families to hang out with and do different things with. So there's lots to do in Ghana.
Oh, wow. I mean, you're making me, you're the second guest I've had on talking about Ghana, and you make me really, really, really want to come there. I mean, the last time I was there was 2011.
Oh, there's a lot of different things going on right now. Lots of different things. Yes, absolutely. You should come.
For the fun. There's a lot of fun things to do for you,
yes.
for you as an adult and for your boys as well.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And of course, you know, if you're single, there's Afro, what is it called? Oh my goodness, I forget the name of it. But there's a big African festival, music festival that happens in December. And there's always concerts and jazz clubs. So many different clubs I've been to. Lots of nightlife, lots of things to do. So not just young and old, but old as well can come and enjoy themselves.
Wow, wow. This is fantastic. Fantastic. And so, Kendra Thompson, I mean, you just cover everything that I do on this program. It says that you're from the Caribbean and you live in Africa, and you're a very accomplished woman. And there's something though that I just remembered, but I just think I need people to know is that when we talk about traveling, you don't just restrain yourself to just Africa, but you told me that you spent some weeks also in Europe recently, right? Was it you? You spent some weeks touring some of the European countries? I think we're frozen here.
Yes. So with COVID happening, we were locked down in Ghana for about 4 years, not being able to go anywhere. And I am a travel junkie. I love to travel, and my kids now have the fever. So we were like jonesing for travel. So this summer, we spent like a month just touring all over Europe. We went to like 5 different countries, and we didn't stop there. We kept going. We kept going. So we're planning to go to Asia next time. So we're planning our next trip. And in the midst of all that, we had to learn French. My son is learning German because he wants to actually end up going to school in Germany. So yeah, we are students of the world right now.
Students of the world, I absolutely love it. And so if someone wanted to talk more with you about your, well, let's say Ghana in particular, moving to Ghana, because that's really what your book is about, a single mom's guide moving to Ghana. Where can they get in touch with you?
Okay, so my website is Thompson Experience, all one word, lots of vowels, I before E. So it's thompsonexperience.com, and my book is on there. Now you're the first to hear this, but it's also on Amazon Kindle as of today.
Right.
And it's available on there, and it's on only ebook right now. So I'm working on the paperback version, and that should be coming out shortly. And I'm also on Facebook, Karlene Thompson. I'm on Instagram, Thompson. I think I forgot what the one is. I'll send it to you. I don't want to mix them up because there's so many different ones. And I'm also on Instagram and YouTube. So I'll share that with you, and you can post it in the description as well.
Absolutely. And so again, to my amazing listeners and viewers, wasn't that fantastic? She's a global traveler of the world, citizen of the world.
Yes.
And if you enjoyed what you heard, I invite you to tune in next week to listen to another episode, not with Karlene, but with someone else just as interesting, just as fascinating, who has the ability to share with you what they have learned on their life journey to empower and inspire you. And for me, you can get in touch with me on my website, which is chattingwiththeexperts.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn at Paula Okone. Just put that in, search for me in LinkedIn, or on IG, that's Instagram. And my handle there is at chatting at chatting_experts_podcast. I'd love to get in touch with you. I mean, every week I am inspired and I learn something new from my amazing guests, just as I know we have learned today. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Karlene, for coming on and sharing with us your global experience in general, but talking about what it means to live as a single mom in Ghana.
Thank you so much, Paula, for having me and making this experience a pleasure. And I hope that your guests will have a good experience reading my book. And I hope to hear from them. And, post your reviews, send your questions, and just contact me. I'll be happy to know that you're out there and that you saw this video, and to know that you are watching and seeing how, the changes are happening in Ghana. So I thank you so much for having me on the program.
Thank you.